The Mahi, excerpts of Bruce Grayshore, cartographer and explorer of Ultgara. Deep in the hot jungles of the south lies the lands of the Mahi, the Cabal. It is a dark place, where it rains almost every day of the year, and the massive trees keep the light low during the day on the forest floor. Ecologically, it is home to the most species of flora, fauna, and monsters in the world. It is a wild place, a place of survival. This world of lush rainforests is controlled by the descendants of dinosaurs. Long ago, they formed into three separate races that tens of thousands of years ago began to evolve into something more than simple beasts. Some say it was a wizard's spell gone horribly wrong. Others say some dark god was playing at life. Others say it was a natural course of life, with nothing to govern the nature of such a wild place. Animals had to adapt, and what better way than to get smarter? Personally, I think it was the work of some god, but regardless, now they are a race of three separate species. Below are some descriptions and manuscripts from those that have traveled the land, giving descriptions of each race that I personally found the most accurate. After these notes, I shall conclude how the Mahi govern the Cabal, as well as their very vital mercenary group called the Krieger. The Falke. Excerpts from William the Bruce, 455 BB. A letter addressing the Mahi merchant excursion from Europok to the Senate. A note. William at this time had not purchased a seat at the high table, and he was simply regarded highly on the matter due to his explorations into the Cabal. The Falke are a mischievous looking bunch, if I say so myself. Descendants from the pack-hunting dinosaur, the velociraptor. They are the least upright of the Mahi. While they stand upright, normally at a height of about 5.5 feet tall, they prefer to bend forward, almost giving them a hunched look. Don't let this fool you, though. That hunched motion means that they can stretch out their tail, giving them balance. And well, when they take off, I've seen them run down a deer at full sprint. They don't wear shoes. And how could they? Their species has kept that long sickle claw on their inner toe, a wicked weapon that they can use to slice through a man's stomach in a moment's notice. Their snout is long, full of carnivorous teeth, and they have long grasping arms with 3 claws and 1 stubby thumb on each side. The Falke, due to their long snout, speak with a hiss, and a snake tongue sneaks out every once in a while, adding to a hissing lisp. Well, they're not the largest, nor are they the scariest of the Mahi. What should give you caution is their brain. They're the wiliest, and honestly, very quick-witted. While reptilian in look and speak, they are honestly the most human of all Mahi. They're neither good nor evil. They follow the same thing we all do: wealth and power. Of all the Mahi, they are the exception in the fact that they don't drink. Why? I asked once. I was told it didn't agree with their stomachs. Don't think that they don't have a good time, though. Like most merchants, they will normally wish to smoke with you. And they will wish anyways to fill your pipe or your cigar or cigarette anyways with their own leaf. I say this, and I will say this clearly. Do not smoke with them until you have concluded business. I say this because they will wish to smoke not fine dwarven tobacco, but the leaves they have acquired in the Cabal. They grow a plant in the Cabal that is favored by the Falke that they grind up and smoke. It is called simply marijuana. When marijuana is smoked, it produces magical effects from the plant that goes into the lungs, into the bloodstream, which rapidly carries them throughout the body and then into the brain. The person begins to experience almost immediately. Many people experience a pleasant euphoria or a sense of relaxation. Other common effects, which may vary dramatically among different people, include heightened sensory perceptions like brighter colors. They'll begin to giggle and laugh, as well as altered perceptions of time. And they will want to eat everything. They will have an increased appetite. Now, mind you, this is not something anyways that the folk wish to trade. They use it as a tool to simply anyways keep someone that is wishing to purchase something off their guard. If you ask for said drug, it is simply something that they hold sacred, and they will not trade, as opposed to the other drug they produce, which will they readily trade. Mark my words, this is one that I refute, and you fine men should as well. Something the Falke, and therefore the Cabal, wish to trade is a ground up powder that is made from a coca plant. They are calling kokanee. For the Mahi, the dwarvish race, it enters the system and becomes something of use. It can stay up for days, and it focuses the mind. Both races use this in combat pouches for their soldiers, and there is no ill-lasting effects. The elves, on the other hand, refuse to use it, simply because it is a poison and it kills them immediately. For us humans, it is an addictive drug that has some of the same capabilities as the dwarves and the Mahi, but it hurts the brain. It swells it, and eventually leaves the person catatonic, or their heart just simply explodes. The Cabal uses the Falke as their merchants in everyday society, as well as accountants, scholars, teachers, and on a surprising note, their counsel. On the rare occasion that one is gifted with magic, it is always a Falke, never an Ashorn or a Kikani. They have become common sight in Europak, haggling their wares of the Cabal wherever they go. Can the Falke be trusted as merchants? Such a strange race? Can they be? No. Trust them as far as you would trust any merchant. Any merchant in Europak, provided you fill them with enough alcohol, will tell you they want the best price for what they're selling. The Falke are no different. They wish to do the same thing. They are not out there looking for buddies. They are looking for trade partners. When looking at the Falke, think of them as the business end of the Cabal. They are there to set up trade, develop lines of trade, with the goal of traveling further north to expand their trade empire. It is a trade empire, gentlemen. Make no mistake about it. The Cabal is rich with gold, silver, sugar, and the remarkable thing that we have all loved and enjoyed in the last few years, fruit. While at this time we garner most of our gold from the dwarven mines of Ice Kaiser, the Falke are undercutting them heavily. This means one of two things. Either A, they're doing it on purpose to have us rely on them more, or B, they don't know how valuable gold is. Honestly, from what I have gathered from the Falk, it is the latter. We must take advantage of this. It will give us vast freedoms from the elder races. The only concern I personally have with the Falk is their want to trade of kokanee. I urge you, fine gentlemen, to legalize the trade of kokanee immediately. The cabal will understand. They will shut down the trade, and the Falk will no longer anyways pander it. Mark my words, it is a poison to the human lands. This ends the useful part of the letter. William continues on with trade advice for the cabal, as well as the countries of Ice Kaiser, Yakutsk, and the Elven Conclave. A very good read, yet for what I'm writing, not important. Ironically, the Senate took his advice about the Falk and their gold. Ice Kaiser trade of gold dried up in Europak, and they moved their trade to Yakutsk. Profits went down by a remarkable 25% in gold for about 15 years. Unfortunately, his advice on kokanee was not heeded, and it was surplus through Europak to the northern countries for 50 years, until it was eventually shut down. By that point, it was too late, and the underworld syndicates had already established trade with the cabal, most emphatically the Red Claws.